I'd like to call the May 14th, 2025 City Council regular meeting to order. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Carey,
Present.
Chilson,
Present.
Hutchings. Here. Nelson,
Present.
Parker. Wackler,
Present.
Kincaid. Present. You have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda and consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda and consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda and consent agenda.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchings and Mr. Carey. Are there any changes to the agenda or consent agenda? Seeing none, are there any, would the clerk please read the consent agenda?
April 23rd, 2025 City Council meeting minutes. Big agenda. Ordinance 2025-011, establishing a centralized fee schedule for the city of Soldotna and amending the Soldotna Municipal Code to reference the fee schedule. Sponsored by the city manager. Public hearing on May 28th. Ordinance 2025-012, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $76,000 in the general fund to replace the city's HVAC management software. Sponsored by the city manager. Public hearing on May 28th. Ordinance 2025-013, increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $169,564 in the general fund to replace body-worn cameras and in-car cameras and to replace interview room and DUI processing room camera recordings system. Processing?
No.
City manager, sponsored by the city manager, public hearing on May 28, 2025. Resolution 2025-015, authorizing the city manager to enter into and execute an agreement for animal control shelter services with the city of Kenai, sponsored by the city manager. Resolution 2025-016, authorizing the city manager to enter into and execute a facilities management agreement for visitor information center services between the city of Soldotna and the Greater Soldotna Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by the city manager. Action Memorandum 2025-008, request for an excused absence from the May 28, 2025 regular city council meeting. Ms. Parker. Action Memorandum 2025-009, request for an excused absence from the June 11, 2025 regular city council meeting, sponsored by Ms. Hutchings. That is your consent agenda.
Thank you. Are there any public comments on any of the items just read by the clerk? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak on any item just read by the clerk under the consent agenda? I will look at Zoom and I see no one, no hands raised in Zoom. Having no one wishing to speak, the approval of the agenda and consent agenda is back before the council. Any objections? Seeing and hearing none, the approval of the agenda and consent agenda is by unanimous consent. Next item is presentation with prior notice. And this first one up will be Soldotna Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center Quarterly Report from Heidi Sorrell, the Executive Director, the new Executive Director.
Push the button.
Microphone on. 3.
How's that?
There.
Okay.
Heidi Sorrell. Thank you for having me here. This is our Soldotna Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center first quarter report for 2025. A message from the director. The 2025 Soldotna Chamber year opened with a bang with our community scholarship fair on January 18th. Thanks to the foresight of our chamber board and the generous support of our members, we've awarded a total of 366 100,750 to 177 local students from high school seniors to current college, university, and trade school students between 1994 and 2025. Right after the scholarship fair, we jumped headfirst into a whirlwind of exciting events, launching the Visitor Center Guide, rocking the Frozen River Fest, hosting Job Shadow Day, celebrating ribbon cuttings and luncheons, going green for the St. Patrick's Day Parade, and diving into strategic planning. It's been a busy and fun ride. On February 18th, the Soldotna Chamber brought on a new executive director, myself, Heidi Sorrell. I'm honored to step into the role of executive director at the Soldotna Chamber of Commerce with a background in state construction, finance, and community service, including work with the PFD program and local youth sports. I'm excited to help our business community grow and thrive. As a mom of 4 KPBSD students, I care deeply about building a strong future for our local families and businesses. We're incredibly grateful for our partnership with the City of Soldotna. These exciting initiatives to support local businesses and community wouldn't be possible without you guys. Your continued investment empowers regional leadership and helps Soldotna's businesses, community connect, grow, and thrive. Together, we're building a vibrant and prosperous future for Soldotna. And if you go on over to the second page, Visitor Center and Marketing. New for 2025, we are excited to share that we have purchased new ad spaces, one on the Birch Ridge Golf Course's scorecards for this season. And 2 ad spaces on those cards specifically. And then following, you'll see a list of Soldotna advertising and marketing. In 2025, we invested in the following advertisement companies to promote Soldotna so far. First is 2025 Kenai Peninsula Best Map. Then we have Alaska Campground Owners Association map, guest guide for KOA, Valdez, Tok, and Denali, the Milepost, Alert Magazine LLC, Bell's Alaska Travel Guide and map, and then Birch Ridge Golf Course scorecard. The Soldotna Visitor Guide distribution 2025 year to date was 577 mailed to qualified leads. Soldotna relocation packets distributed 2025 year to date total 15 website calls. 2025 Soldotna Visitor Guide in March, the Kenai River Brown Bears helped us unload a shipment of Soldotna Visitor Guides into our basement storage. The Soldotna Visitor Guides were delivered to 20 area businesses for distribution in early March. We mailed boxes of visitor guides around the state to 22 information centers. And if you look at the graph below, these are stats for our Visit Soldotna website. And you can see we've had 28,000 visitors so far this year. And then here we have some stats for Instagram, Facebook, more Facebook, and our Soldotna Chamber newsletter subscriptions are up to 2,106 with a 45% open rate, and that is twice as high as the standard newsletter open rate. So a lot of those, I guess, go to junk mail, and it's hit and miss how many times people open them, but ours is pretty high in comparison. Here's a note from Hype Digital Marketing, Matt Nash, our website manager. For basic engagement overview, Matt told us, overall, everything's down a little bit. The above recommendation would help with this as well. We want people to find what they're looking for, but also want this to be the main page for Soldotna info. Essentially what Matt was saying is we could potentially get a little bit more engagement with, more exciting specific posts on our social media pages. And so we're trying to implement that. Basic search queries overview looks like overall clicks went up, but overall position went down, which means we're ranking a little higher from the things we want to rank for, but overall we've dropped in the search engines. I have a few ideas about this, including some SEO work. I can do some basic stuff with your plan right now, but if you want me to deep dive into some more SEO for you guys, we can chat about that anytime when you're free. And that was his response. If you look at the graph below for our acquisition overview, you can see we had a spike right there in the middle of February. You see the large spike. That's where we started posting. That's about the time I came on. And we'd fallen behind, in my opinion, on some social media posts. So we started posting there about Frozen River Fest, and we started, posting thank yous and engagements and stuff like that. But that's what that spike is specifically. And then you can see it died back down a little bit. But Frozen River Fest was a huge hit. all the posts got passed around quite a lot, and tons of people were tagged in those. Here you can see a picture of our brown bears distributing our Soldotna Visitor Guide on the bottom right-hand corner. And if you'll turn to the back for page 3, we have a list of events that had happened in the first quarter. January 18th, we had our second annual Community Scholarship Fair. February 14th, second annual Love Soldotna Visitor Guide release. February 15th, Frozen River Fest. February 24th, staff CPR safety training. March 4th, Ribbon Cutting Alaska Hearth and Home. It was their grand opening. March 17th, we had the St. Patrick's Day Parade. March 26th, our first Soldotna Job Shadow Day. March 28th, annual board retreat. That's where we built our strategic plan for the next few years. As in regards to our community scholarship fair, it was held on Saturday, January 18th at the Soldotna Regional Sports Complex. We brought together local organizations to inform students and families about the amazing scholarships and financial aid options available in Soldotna and on the Kenai Peninsula. With 14 vendors participating and around 400 attendees, the energy was electric. We even had 68 students enter our drawing for a $500 education grant. It was very exciting. And we had our first Soldotna Job Shadow Day. Soldotna High School's inaugural Job Shadow Day was a great success. Students gained valuable hands-on experience with local businesses, and the strong community participation made the day both impactful and inspiring. 35 businesses and 77 students participated. We're proud to support opportunities that connect education with real-world careers. Frozen River Fest. Frozen River Fest was a huge success for the 10th year. Thank you to all our brewers, volunteers, attendees, and everyone else who made this event possible. Naptown Brewing took our People's Choice Award for 3 years in a row. We hired Alaska Berry Photography for photography capturing the event. We had 4 food trucks, live music from Ellie and the Echoes and Bunny Swan Band, and we hosted 16 breweries from around Alaska. This was the first to host Felicity Loft Tea Made for Alaska. We also debuted our newly constructed ticket booth built by Soldotna High School's CAD CAM class. This project is a win for local youth, providing hands-on experience in construction and welding that equips them with valuable skills and prepares them for future careers. Do we have any questions?
Any questions for the council?
Comments?
Comments? Yes, go ahead, Ms. Curry.
I want to thank you for your participation and all those that were involved with the event, the scholarships.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. It was very well done. I just felt the whole environment was excellent. And
Thank
the
you.
treatment that was provided for each of those young people receiving acknowledgement and funds is wonderful. Second, and you're probably already doing it and planning, but I want to say that you could be a very excellent asset to the city in promoting the field house.
Okay.
As the field house comes on board, I think all over, I'm going to say the world, but I'll limit it to Alaska and the US, they're going to want to come here. And to the extent that you promote the positive opportunities there, I think you'll greatly help this community. And thank you for being the director.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the council? Vice Mayor Parker.
Thank you, Mayor Whitney, and thank you, Mrs. Frill, for the report tonight. And your daughter's singing at lunch today and presentation was fabulous.
Oh, thank
We
you.
could have that at council meetings. And- But not with the
Not
mayor,
me singing.
not with the mayor or me singing. So in following up on what Councilmember Carey said,
Mhm.
many years ago, there was a report done by what used to be McDowell Group, and I forget their name today, that identified the potential for hosting small conferences here. And I have a copy of it. I happened to participate in helping McDowell Group do this report. And at the time, we didn't have a facility to where you could put 100 to 150 people to come for a conference.
Mhm.
And with the completion of the field house coming up, we have that opportunity, and I know it's something that the city manager and staff have also been working on. So if you can't find that report somewhere in the chamber files, let me know.
Okay.
And then The other thing I wanted to ask is, what are the upcoming events that we can plan for in this next quarter?
It's going to be busy. Okay, so strap in. Levitt being one of those. We're looking for businesses, a couple more businesses to help sponsor Levitt. And those are $1,500 sponsorships. For Progress Days, we're looking for businesses to help participate in our carnival, in the games, and businesses or just really any community members that would like to help with the carnival games. From what the staff had said, they were shorthanded last year for the block party. So any help is appreciated and welcomed. And the ideas that we tossed around and are trying to implement, pretty fast and furious for Progress Days is that we could get each one different businesses to sponsor their own specific carnival game and take ownership of it. And, if, come do, I don't know, race cars with, you name it, whatever business. And each business has a specific one that they can be proud of that they've done. So that's one of the Progress Days is the big one coming up. Of course, we have our Levitt Amp music series coming up. And there's opportunities for people to speak. We're having City of Soldotna being one of the sponsors for Levitt. Each sponsor gets an opportunity to pick a night that highlights them. So if City of Soldotna wanted to pick a night and it's like, okay, this is our music night, somebody can come and get up on the stage and talk and, say something great about the city and introduce the bands, that kind of a thing. We do have MCs lined up in the event that, we don't have, because sometimes people are shy. They don't want to get up there. But Global's chosen a night, and so far it's just been Global who's picked a night that they want to take over for Levitt. Yeah, we have pie auction coming up. We've decided on a theme for that. I'm not sure if I should share or not. It's in the making. I'll keep it secret for now. But let me see what else. Pie auction, Levitt, Progress Days. We have Lemonade Day. We're building business boxes. Well, I am building business boxes, business starter kits for all the kiddos. And if there's any way anybody can contribute to the business boxes, we're anticipating no more than 50 businesses signing up. That seems to be right on track for growth where we could be. But we're looking for things like calculators, pencils, receipt books, just anything that would add to the excitement of these children feeling like they're entrepreneurs and they're starting their own business for the first time. We want them to have a positive experience and really glean what it's like to take ownership of being an entrepreneur. Did that answer your question?
How much for sponsorship on Music in the Park?
The sponsorships we have left are, I'll take any amount of money, but $1,500.
15 if I wanted to sponsor a night.
Yep. Well, if you want to, yeah, $1,500 to be a sponsor. You'll be on the banner and you can pick whatever night if you're a sponsor.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions, comments from the council? I do have one. Is this the last year for Levitt? No, they were.
So that's a popular question. It can be the last year for Levitt. It's not the last year for Music in the Park. So Music in the Park and Levitt are two different things. If we're doing it through Levitt, which is our grant program, we have to call it Levitt Music Series, and Music in the Park becomes a bad word for our grant restrictions. We have to say Levitt Music Series. Our grant does run up this year. They still have a lot of funds. I was initially under the impression when I first got on board that funds were drying up. They were trying to get rid of them. And, the Levitt sponsorship grant would not be available, but it looks like it's going to be a slow draining thing available for the next decade. So we're going to reapply for the grant next year and still, go with Levitt for the next 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, unless
And-
something crazy comes up.
And the Soldotna Elks will be manning the booth for panning out the prizes at Progress Days. So
Okay, thank
they're all
you.
they're all fired up, ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Anything else, from the council? Thank you very much.
All right, thank
And
you.
congratulations on your new position.
Oh, thank you. It's been like trying to take a sip from a fire hose, but it's been worth it.
Next item agenda is public comments and presentation. Items other than those appearing on the agenda, 3 minutes per speaker, 20 minutes aggregate. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on any item not appearing on the agenda? Anyone here in the audience wishing to speak on any item not appearing on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll take a look at Zoom, and there is no one on Zoom, so we'll move on to item 6, Assembly and Legislative Reports. Are there any representatives from the borough and or the state legislature that would like to address the council? I see no one here in the audience, and there's no one on Zoom. Next item, public hearings, testimony limited to 3 minutes per speaker. First item is ordinance 2025-008, accepting grant funds from the Alaska Police Standards Council and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $13,000 in the general fund to attend the Alaska Law Enforcement Training Academy, introduced by the city manager. May I have a motion to enact? Ms. Hutchings.
I enact ordinance 2025-008, accepting grant funds from the Alaska Police Standards Council and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $13,000 in the general fund to attend the Alaska Law Enforcement Training Academy.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Carey. Report from the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm sure that you remember previously for officers to attend the academy, it was actually free for all municipalities. It was sponsored by the state. That doesn't happen anymore on a routine basis. You know, before we didn't have to pay anything and it was just automatic. Now to attend, the city does pay the fee to attend, which is approximately $13,000. And then we apply for a grant. We've been pretty successful lately in obtaining these grants. And this is also a grant that we've been able to secure. And this appropriates the money for the academy.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? Anyone here in the audience wishing to speak on ordinance 2025-008? Seeing and hearing none, I'll look at Zoom, and there's no hands raised there. Any council comments? Any objections to approving ordinance 2025-008? Seeing and hearing no objections, ordinance 2025-008 passes by unanimous consent. Oops. Next item on the agenda is ordinance 2025-009, accepting a donation from the Alaska Police Officers Association and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $2,500 in the general fund to help fund the purchase of replacement gym equipment, introduced by the city manager. May I have a motion to enact?
I would move to enact ordinance 2025-009, an ordinance accepting a donation from the Alaska Police Officers Association and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $2,500 in the general fund to help fund the purchase of replacement gym equipment.
Have a second, please. Thank you, Ms. Hutchings. Report from the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe that the title said it all. This does replace much needed gym equipment. And if there are any specific questions about the gym equipment, our chief of police is here.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on ordinance 2025-009? Anyone here in the audience? Seeing none, I'll take a look at Zoom, and there are none there. Having no one else who wishes to speak, the item is back before the council. Any council comments? Vice Mayor Parker.
Thank you, Mayor Whitney. Through the mayor and the city manager, Chief, do the police officers also go to a local gym, or are we just using the gym equipment at your facility? I hope you're engaging and spending money locally.
So the answer to that question would be yes and yes. So kind of divided. Many officers use our gym and many use a local gym. So most of them go to Iron Asylum, which is just outside of the city. I don't know that any that go to the fitness place, but, and it's not just our officers, so troopers, Kenai Police, dispatchers, lots of different agencies, law enforcement agencies use our gym.
If I just add, and their gym, the police department, we call it their gym, is also available to all of the city staff. I don't believe that we have very many of the other city staff using it, but it is available to all of us.
Anything else from the council?
How big is this gym?
I don't know the dimensions, but it's fairly large. Yeah, not this large. It's, probably the size of like 2 offices or something like that, but, and at times city employees have used it. They're gone now, but, or, there are some that come in the mornings and use it, so.
Against the world.
Any other questions or comments? Any objections to approving ordinance 2025-009? Seeing, hearing no objections, ordinance 2025-009 is approved by unanimous consent. Next item on the agenda is ordinance 2025-010, accepting grant funds from the State of Alaska Department of Education and Early Development and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $1,250 in the general fund to attend the annual American Library Association Conference introduced by the city manager. May I have a motion to enact? Ms. Hutchings.
I'll make a motion to enact ordinance 2025-010, accepting grant funds from the state of Alaska Department of Education and Early Development and increasing estimated revenues and appropriations by $1,250 in the general fund to attend the annual American Library Association Conference.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Chilson. Report from the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This grant will be used by Stacy Klein at the library. We have received this grant in the past, and this time this grant will be used for her to attend the American Library Association Conference.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak on this item? It's ordinance 2025-010. Anyone here in the audience wishing to speak on that ordinance? Seeing and hearing none, I'll take a look at Zoom, and there are no hands raised there. Having no one who wishes to speak, the item is back before the council. Are there any council comments? Mr. Carey?
To the city manager, to the best of your knowledge, if we had not received this grant, would we spend city funds to send someone to this conference?
Yes, we would.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Parker?
Thank you, Mayor Whitney. Based on what we're seeing happening at the national level with cutting of funds, is this conference still going forward? And if it is, I'm sure the conversation's going to be interesting.
Mr. Mayor, to our knowledge, it is moving forward, and yes, you're absolutely correct. It'll be interesting. It's been an interesting conversations at the state level, because as you're aware of, the state travel has been frozen, and there are other issues going on within the state library system. So to our knowledge, it's moving forward, and we'll let you know if it does not.
Anything else from the council? Is this one of those grants that the feds will be removing from the system?
There's a possibility.
What I was afraid of.
Mhm.
Having no one excuse me, we'll call any objections to approving enacting ordinance 2025-010. Seeing and hearing none, ordinance 2025-010 is approved by unanimous consent. Next item on the agenda is new business, and it looks like all those were under the consent agenda. So we'll move on to mayor and council reports. Mayor's report, I will have a proclamation I'll be reading tomorrow for proclaiming May 15th as Police Officers Memorial Day and May 11th through 17th as Police Week. I have two other proclamations that have been issued and will be distributed to the appropriate parties. Whereas the annual sale of Buddy Poppies by the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States has been officially recognized and endorsed by governmental leaders since 1922. And whereas VFW Buddy Poppies are assembled by disabled veterans and the proceeds of this worthy fundraising campaign are used exclusively for the benefit of disabled and needy veterans. And whereas the basic purpose of the annual sale of Buddy Poppies by the Veterans of Foreign Wars is elegantly reflected in the desire to honor the dead by helping the living. Now therefore, I, Paul Whitney, Mayor of the City of Soldotna, Alaska, do hereby urge the citizens of this community to recognize the merits of this cause by contributing generously to its support through the purchase of Buddy Poppies and set aside the month of May 2025 for the distribution of these symbols of appreciation for the sacrifices of our honored dead during Buddy Poppy Month. I urge all patriotic citizens to wear a Buddy Poppy as evidence of our gratitude to the men and women of this country who have risked their lives in defense of the freedoms which we continue to enjoy as American citizens. Some of those Buddy Poppy items have been distributed around the community already. And on May 26th, which is Memorial Day, there'll be a booth set up at Fred Meyer's for the sale of Buddy Poppies. Next proclamation. Whereas the United States Armed Forces are a vital force in defending our nation and upholding our values both at home and abroad, and whereas the men and women of our military, along with their families, make significant sacrifices for our freedom and security, and whereas their courage, dedication, and commitment to duty are an inspiration to us all, and whereas it is fitting that we recognize and express our deep appreciation for the services and sacrifice of the United States Armed Forces, and whereas Armed Forces Day, observed annually on the third Saturday of May, provides an opportunity to honor those who serve and to show our support for them. And whereas National Military Appreciation Month, observed throughout May, provides an opportunity for all citizens to express their gratitude and support for the military community. Now therefore, I, Paul Whitney, Mayor, City of Soldotna, do hereby proclaim May 17th in the City of Soldotna as Armed Forces Day, and be it further proclaimed, I hereby proclaim May 2025, in the City of Soldotna as Military Appreciation Month, dated 14th day of May 2025. Next item I have here is I had the opportunity this afternoon to attend the Chamber of Commerce Scholarship Awards event, and it was very well received. Very proud of those scholarship recipients. It's great to see young people out there applying for these scholarships and being awarded them as a local level. And the next thing is May 7th, 2025, Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Mr. Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor Whitney. So Planning and Zoning had a long day last week. Their Planning and Zoning Commission meeting started with some work sessions. The court gave kind of an overview or reminder, refresher of Robert's rules and some of the other parliamentary procedures. And then our city attorneys came in and also gave some training on just kind of those planning and zoning things I know a lot of us are familiar with, ex parte communications, things like that, and their responsibilities as that body. During the regular meeting, there were several conditional use permits. So they heard 2 conditional use permits regarding a storage yard operation, as well as for some construction of a house in the commercial district along the Sterling Highway. The kind of 2 major discussion items go hand in hand. So talking about a new riverfront mixed use district. This is based off, of course, our riverfront redevelopment property. There was initiative project. And there was quite a bit of discussion on those with some amendments to the text of that and the map of that new zoning district. So I know we will certainly be seeing that, and I'm sure there will be more discussion coming to council about those 2 items. But that took up some things. And of course, the normal reports and items that they usually deal with. So quite a long and productive meeting from the Planning and Zoning Commission, but very active and a very detailed discourse of some new things coming into Soldotna. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have on the meeting.
Any questions for Mr. Nelson? I have just one, not a question for you, but something to for the city manager. I know in the past we have sent some of the commissioners to the training session for planning. I think it's usually now in December, and I know we have a couple of new ones. Is that on the agenda for happening?
Yes, it'll be, when it comes out, through AML, it'll be, our Economic Development Director will bring that forward to them
Okay, good.
for
Thank you.
those who want to attend.
Okay, next item on the agenda is report from the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did want to speak about the field house. First of all, it's all going great. The flooring has all been ordered, which is wonderful, and will be here in time for opening. I do believe that right now, probably CO and Kyle and Joel are probably, and Michaelan are probably at their busiest point with the field house. Previously, it was overseeing the contractor and their work, and now it is our turn to outfit the building. So it is a lot going on, but it's really wonderful. You know, we get excited about strange things regarding the field house. I was going to try to show a picture, but it's on my phone. It's too small. The lines have been painted on the track, so the walking track, and it looks really amazing. It's amazing what white lines look like on a walking track, but super excited to have that. And believe it or not, ordering the wooden floor, Joel had to designate where the painted lines would be. And you have to be super careful about basketball courts and all these lines that need to be done. I was not aware of all of that. And then where the curtain would fall on the line. So it was quite a process to get all these lines done. So we're excited about painted lines right now. One item also involving the field house, and the mayor, vice mayor, and myself, we are a member, as well as really the city overall, but we've attended the Small Cities Council through the National League of Cities. And the objectives of the council are to be recognized as a voice and advocate for small cities, to serve as a resource for municipal officials for small cities, to recruit more small cities, and to ensure that council members are well informed about NLC and can be effective spokespersons about the role of small cities in NLC. I've taken this from their website, obviously, and to connect other small cities. We received an email, the three of us received an email about Small Cities Month, which is in June, and they want to feature stories from small cities. And I should say, I don't have it on here, but that there are, I believe that the membership within NLC, and you two can correct me, 80% of the membership is actually small cities. So, and they described it as 50,000 and less, you know. So I guess we're a really small city, but that's okay. Small but mighty.
We're tiny.
What's that?
We're tiny compared to 50,000.
Tiny but mighty. So the June is Small Cities Month, the theme is Small Cities, Big Impact, Celebrating Community and Leadership. And they want to know what we've done. And they want us to share a story about something successful that we've done. And so to do so, you have to do it in 4 or 5 sentences, which was really hard. But I did I submitted the field house, and I actually have a copy of this for each one of you, and I forgot to pass that out. But this is what was submitted, and hopefully they'll feature us. The Soldotna Fieldhouse is the first year-round indoor recreation facility of its size on the Central Kenai Peninsula, realized after decades of advocacy and led by passionate community champions. Funded through a voter-approved bond, congressionally designated spending, and city funds, the facility reflects the power of grassroots support in small communities. Designed with community input, the 54,000 square foot, I want to highlight that because we've updated, you've seen in the past, 40,000 square foot, we've updated for the walking track because that does add square feet. And we had to report that on our insurance, so I just well aware of that. The 54,000 square foot facility provides a safe, accessible space for recreation throughout the long Alaskan winters with a multi-purpose sport court, removable turf field, and elevated walking and jogging track. Beyond promoting health and active lifestyles, the field house supports local economic development by attracting regional tournaments, events, and visitors. In a city of just 4,500, this project showcases how small communities can deliver transformative infrastructure that benefits the entire Kenai Peninsula. Celebrating again the success of the field house.
Would you want to add in there that it also came in under budget and,
I only had five
Early completion.
sentences. I only had five sentences.
just make a long sentence.
Yeah. And they were kind of run-on sentences as it was, so that was why it was a little harder to read. Also going on this week is the Alaska Wastewater Management Association Conference. And Rob Hayes, our Utilities Director, and then Kyle, our Public Works Director, are at this conference. And one of the agenda items is actually the presentation regarding Soldotna and our permitting and permitting processes. So those two are there speaking with the agencies and also presenting about Soldotna,
Where's that being held?
Anchorage.
Maybe next year we can have it down here in the.
That's
field.
right. We'll work on that.
Any questions for the city manager? Okay, moving on to the next agenda item is public comments. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on any item? Anyone here in the audience wishing to speak on any item? Seeing none, I'll take a look at Zoom. There's no hands raised there. Council comments. Ms. Kincaid.
Great. I forgot it was my turn. So things at Soldotna High School are starting to wrap up. We have one more week of school, officially tomorrow. That's May 22nd. We are very excited for next year as changes in faculty and classes next year will be happening due to changes in funding. So we're a little excited to see how everything is going to go. A little curious. And we have our graduating seniors next Wednesday at 6 p.m. on our field. And we're just very excited for next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Hutchings.
I just wanted to say I was really pleased with how the Chamber Scholarship Program went, and it has been a busy scholarship year. And I sat on a couple of scholarship committees, and it's amazing how much money is out there for our kids. We did, through Alaska Community Foundation, we did 150 scholarships totaling 1.2 million. And we had a good 10,000 that was just designated only for the peninsula. I mean, we had other peninsula kids get money, but we had that 10,000 that was just for the peninsula, which I thought was really wonderful. And I had a nice visit with our AvTech director today, and he's got some more sources for scholarship funds for AvTech. So I'm really excited. We're going to carry on that conversation tomorrow night. And I just think it's so refreshing to see so much career and training scholarships for our kids, because let's face it, we need mechanics, we need plumbers, we need nurses, we need people that are out there working. We all know how hard it is to find a service person to come to the house for our plumbing. And you can't find enough mechanics to have in your shop. So I'm looking forward to seeing AvTech expand. Thank you.
Ms. Wackler.
No comment today.
Mr. Carey. Mr. Nelson.
No comments tonight.
Mr. Chilson.
No comments.
Vice Mayor Parker.
Well, thank you, Mayor Whitney. Couple comments, and it all relates back to SoHi. I was pleased to see that the SoHi girls softball team is like rocking the world. Their overall record, I think they're 15-5 with 2 ties, and in their division, they're 6-0, and it was fabulous to see that. And then in following up, another SoHi student, our former student council rep, Noble Cassidy, got a degree from KPC and went and got an associate degree here this past week. So congratulations to Noble and what he's been able to accomplish before he even graduates. So anyway, those are my comments.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is item number 13, executive session. City manager and city clerk annual evaluation is AS 44.62.310C2. If discussed in public, may prejudice the reputation and character of any person. In accordance with Alaska Statute 44.62.310C2, the city council may convene into an executive session to discuss subjects which may prejudice the reputation and character of any person. May I have a motion to enter into executive session? Vice Mayor Parker.
Thank you, Mayor Whitney. I move to enter into an executive session to discuss the city manager's annual evaluation and the city clerk's annual evaluation.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr.
Can
Carroll.
I finish? I just, for the record, that they have elected to have us have this discussion take place in executive session, and that was their option.
And I still have a second from Mr. Carey. Are there any objections to convening into executive session? Seeing and hearing none, we will move into executive session. Once the council returns from executive session, the Zoom meeting will be resumed. Are we going to do that in the chamber?
I-